Well, good morning everybody. Hope you're all well. As you can see, I'm on the boat. We stayed last night. Absolutely glorious night. And the amount of birds that were singing, there was all sorts, absolutely all sorts, singing away. Loads of thrushes. Oh, just too many to mention really. It's absolutely lovely. And last night we went round to my eldest son's and his wife's, and we had a meal with them to wish, Happy Father's Day to my husband. So that was absolutely lovely. They treated him to a meal, and they also bought him some whiskey that had been matured in wine casks, a special whiskey. So that was lovely. So when we came back to the boat, he did try a little bit of it, and he said it was lovely. So that was so nice. That was very relaxed. He's got a lovely wife. She's absolutely lovely, and they do go abroad a lot. And in a few days' time, they're off to Marrakesh. So save up, go on a little explore. That's what their life's about, and that's lovely. So what did I do? Ended up in a charity shop. I don't know how it happened. I just wandered in. Anyway, so I got this book, and I'm 2/3 of the way through, because with me not being at home, I haven't got all the housework to keep doing. So it doesn't take long to tidy the boat up. So this is what I've been reading. And it's Life and Work in a Nottingham Lace Factory. So my husband picked this up because I'd missed it. So I was grateful about that, because that's right up my street, that is. And it's been very interesting. Very interesting. So that was that. And what else did I get? Well, for 25p I got this little flat iron, the old-fashioned flat iron, and it's I think it says, let me just try and get it, is it Knoll Fine China, Staffordshire, England? I think that's what it might say. Or is it Kessel? It's very, very tiny writing. It might be Kessel. Never heard of it before, but I will look it up. It has got a little emblem underneath with a house. So I'll probably Google Lens that and find out where it was made. 25p. It's got little rosebuds on, and it's a little miniature. So that had to come home with me. It was very strong. There was a lot of Denby there, but I didn't get it. But I did, for 2 seconds, wonder whether I was going to have these. Now, I've not opened them since I got them yesterday from the shop, so I hope they're intact. But you will not believe that these were only £2 each. There was a cabinet full of figures, very tall figures as well, but I like these smaller ones. And they're made by a company called, it's the Regal Collection. And it's got a little crown on top, so I'll look that up. Not that I'm bothered about whether I've got something that's worth a lot of money. I just think they're lovely. £2 each. Beautifully made, this is. Crinoline dress, and she's carrying a little rose, and this one's called Abby. And I think she looks lovely. And her face is like bisque, I think they call that. So that means unglazed. So I thought, she's not very big. I've definitely got room for her. I didn't know whether to leave her on the boat or I might take her home. Really lovely. So I was pleased about that. I'll just pop that there. You propped up on a pile of books with a book at the front because I haven't got my iPad stand. So, and this is the other one, and she's called Valentine. There's a number underneath. Once again, £2. Little bisque face, and the hair is bisque as well. They're unglazed. Isn't she lovely? Now, I don't think she's carrying anything, but so nice. Look at the dress. So that's that one. They're all in these cream dresses, all made by the same company. So this is the next one. Sorry about the crinkling paper. So she's got that round there. So here we have another one. And this one is called Romance. Once again, beautiful dresses. Same as the other one, you know. It's got this marking at the bottom. So they were probably from the same collection. So I've got 3 of them. I said to my husband, I've just seen some crinoline ladies. And I love crinoline ladies because you used to get them on a lot of tablecloths, mirrors. I've got tablecloths with them on. I've got mirrors with them on. I've got a fire screen with a crinoline lady on. I just think they're so elegant. They're lovely. So I thought they were real bargains. I will wrap them back up. I'll leave that one there, look. Yeah, so fantastic day yesterday. Really, really loved it. Sat out quite a while. A couple of people have got in touch with us to ask if we're down, and so they're coming down to see us. One friend of mine, Brenda, who's got a boat, moored a couple of boats up, and every time my husband goes on the slip, that's the it's called the slip, and you take your boat onto it when you're black in the bottom of a narrow boat, and there's enough room for 2 boats because there's 2 slipways, and her husband Kev always goes and slips his boat when my husband does. They've done it for years, you know. They got on so well. I was saying to my husband last night, he's one of the nicest people. He really is a lovely, lovely man. So that's who's coming to see me today. That's Brenda. She dropped some books off and left them on the front of the boat. So, you know, we got in touch with her to thank her and said, oh, you're down tomorrow, I'll come down and see you. So that's lovely. And then the other person that's coming down to see us, if you remember, I spoke about Pam, who passed away. Well, it's her husband who's coming down to see us, so that's lovely. And as soon as I came, I went and touched Jenny's tree. That's my friend who fell in the water and she drowned. So that's the tree that I put in for her, that I grew from a conker. So she's about, what, 10 foot tall now, so that's just so nice, that is. So I don't think I've got much else to tell you. I have brought a little bit of craft down with me. I bought my big William Morris bag down, and it's got some cross stitching, and it's got a bit of crocheting in, and of course I've got my books to read, which is very rare these days. I don't know why that I get to read my book, so I've enjoyed that. Just have a quick sip of tea. Now, my subs, it's a very funny thing. Tasha, who sometimes watches, she said, you know, you're up to so many subs, you know, you're doing well. And I said to her, well, you watch, because every time I go up like that, then I lose a few. It's almost like the magic number. But this time I've surpassed it, and it's creeping up again. So my husband said, well done. You know, because he knows that I absolutely love this. And if you've watched me for a long time, you know that it was a long time before I could bear to film myself, because, you know, I felt self-conscious, whether I don't know what we do as people, whether you're good enough. I don't know whether other people suffer with this stupid thing, really, wondering if you're good enough. But I think, well, if people keep watching, I must be okay, and I have some lovely feedback. And of course, anybody wants nice things to be said, don't they? So that's lovely. I've still been watching From Small Things, I think it's called, the lady from Pennsylvania. I've caught up on her videos, and I've sometimes watched some of her videos twice. She's the lady that makes quilts out of men's shirts. She goes and gets them when there's a sale on at their church or Goodwill store, as they call it in America. And she's really lovely, and I like the fact that she makes the most beautiful quilts, and it's all recycled material. You know, I think she's been doing quilting for 30 years. You know, and I think her sister does as well. And you can certainly tell. It's quite interesting when you look into the backstories of quilts as well. You know, the different styles, and a lot of them have got names as well. So that's lovely. And also the Lionus Project. I think it started in America. I don't think Sue, the lady I'm talking about, I don't think she does them. But I know there's a lady called Diane that's from this country, and she makes Linus Project quilts, and they're made for, I'm hoping I've got this right. Now, if you ever read any of the books called Charlie Brown, and then there was Snoopy, well, Linus was a little boy who always carried a blanket. So they called that the Linus Project. That was named after him, his character. And I think it's for children who have probably not got any supporting parents, or who are in need of some love, if you know what I mean. So lots of people, I think it's probably men and women, make these Linus quilts very unselfishly. They make beautiful quilts and send them off for the Linus Project. So a little boy or little girl will end up getting a beautiful quilt that somebody's lovingly made. I think there's also another lady that I watch. I can't remember what it's called. But she grows, I think might be called the Flower Farm or something like that. She's in our country. and she's got a flower farm. She grows flowers to sell. I think it's the flower farm. Anyway, her mother, who I think is about 90, she makes the quilts for the Lionus Project. The lady from the flower farm, she lives in Norfolk, and she's quite amusing. I really like her. And the mother, I think she lives up in Cumbria, and sometimes she'll go and visit her, and she'll take you a walk round her garden, and she's absolutely wonderful, the mother. Very knowledgeable about plants, very knowledgeable about quilts, and she makes such beautiful quilts, and she makes them for the Lionus Project. So isn't that lovely? There's some lovely people. A lot of people I know make, my friend, she makes knitted garments for premature babies at the hospital in Nottingham. So that's a lovely thing. I know there was a lady that used to make dresses out of pillowcases for little girls. Once again, very unselfish, and passing those on. And also, in this country, a lot of people make beautiful toppers that go on top of our general post boxes, that the red post boxes that are on the streets for you to post your letters in. You'll often see beautiful toppers that are usually knitted or crocheted, and we passed one yesterday and it had got a lady taking 2 dogs a walk, you know, and it's the amount of effort people put in. And there's also a red phone box not far from us. Another drink. And that's got a defibrillator in. It's an unused phone box now. So it's got a defibrillator in. And on the top, it's got an ambulance. You know, I just think what lovely people do such lovely things. You know, random acts of kindness, aren't they, really? And that's lovely. Strange thing happened on the way down from home to the boat. We ended up in a great big traffic jam that we didn't realise they'd got the road up. So that took us ages to get through. Then we had a bumblebee in the car and a wasp. Or it might have been a little bee. We're not sure. But, you know, you could understand one thing coming in, but two. But the thing is, the back of the car was full of plants, and some of the squashes had got big flowers on. And my husband had been down to the allotment, filled the back of the car to take to our eldest sons, so that he'd got some of these plants. And we think that they were being pollinated, and they'd got into the car. So, of course, we'd got to let the bee out, and my husband said that wasn't a bee, it was like a wasp or a small bee, because we have lots of different types of bees. And then the next thing was, I said, no, I'm sure I saw a bumblebee. And I think he thought I'd gone mad. Anyway, next thing, we ended up with this bumblebee. So we managed to get them both out, so I don't know. Right, anyway, I've managed to do a little bit of filming. I've got my very elegant assistant here, and we're going to say goodbye. Lots of love, everybody. Bye.